This is a $129 Apple Pencil Pro, and this is a $30 pencil from ESR. And after using both, I've got a problem, because once they actually touch the screen, I can barely tell the difference. So what is exactly Apple charging another $100 for? Now, I just got back from Switzerland with an absolute stupid amount of photos to edit. So instead of sitting here drawing random lines and pretending that tells us anything, I figured I'd just replace my Apple Pencil with ESR's Pencil and actually use it. That said, after losing my mind in Lightroom for hours, I was pleasantly surprised, because when it comes to actually putting it on the screen, it feels genuinely the same. Dragging sliders, applying masks, or simply selecting stuff isn't any different from the Apple Pencil. It doesn't even sound or feel any different against the display. Thanks to its 1.5mm fine tip, which feels basically identical to Apple's, and weirdly enough, the tips are literally interchangeable, so they're probably not much different, if at all. Of course, there are still differences, like the weight. The ESR's pencil is noticeably lighter, which might create a feeling of a cheaper product for some, but that's only if you compare them side by side, and even then, after using the ESR's pencil for a few hours, I completely forgot it wasn't the Apple Pencil that I was using, because once you're actually using it, you genuinely stop noticing the difference. But photo editing is also kind of an easy job for a pencil. What about writing though, or drawing? And this is where things get a little more interesting. Palm rejection is pretty important for writing, especially on a bigger iPad, and I'm glad to say that the iPad recognizes the ESR's pencil properly too, so you can rest your hand on the screen just like you normally would. On top of that, it supports tilt sensitivity, so depending on the tool you're using, changing the angle of the pencil actually changes the stroke, just like on the Apple Pencil. Though, unlike on the Apple Pencil, the tilt sensitivity only works in Apple Notes, unfortunately, so if you're gonna use Good Notes, for example, it's not gonna have the same flexibility. It's also missing pressure sensitivity and therefore some of the Apple Pencil controls, like switching between tools directly from the pencil. Oh, and it also doesn't support the hover feature, but truth be told, not once have I found that feature useful on the Apple Pencil, so there's that. That said, if you're just taking notes, annotating PDFs, signing something, or just writing down all the terrible financial decisions you've made this month, I don't really think the missing features are a big deal. Long story short, for normal handwriting, these are basically identical. Drawing is where you start noticing a bigger difference. But I think the more interesting differences are actually everything that happens when the pencil isn't touching the screen. For example, the button on top, which you can press once to go home or press twice to open the app switcher. Also, the same LED you're pressing on conveniently gives you a quick battery charge status. It starts blinking once the battery is under 20%, while the actual battery level shows up in the battery widget on your iPad. The ESR Pencil also conveniently magnetizes to the side of your iPad, and the magnets are decent too. You definitely won't have to worry about it falling off, though even if it did somehow fall off, it has Apple certified Find My built in. So you can see where it is and even make the pencil play a sound when you're looking for it, which is pretty nice. Though it won't charge on the top of your iPad. It has a USB-C connector for that. By the way, speaking of battery life, on a full charge it gives you up to 12 hours of active use, while charging it fully takes just around 20 minutes. So even without magnetic charging, the battery life shouldn't be much of an issue. And by the way, its biggest win is that unlike the Pencil Pro, which only works with newer 2024 and 2025 iPads, this thing supports iPads going all the way back to 2018. So the broader point actually is that even though it doesn't integrate quite as invisibly as the Apple Pencil does, surprisingly little about actually living with it feels cheap. That said, where did the other $100 go? Well, obviously the Apple Pencil will integrate more seamlessly, and since it charges from the iPad, you'll never have to think about its battery life. Also, its tilt and pressure features also work across more apps, so objectively, it is the more capable pencil. But I think the more important question is, how many of those features were you actually going to use? As a photographer, I know I didn't miss any of that, and if I had to use this pencil to study, I literally wouldn't have known the difference either. So at this point, I think we found the answer to the question from the beginning. Once I start drawing professionally, the price gets easier to justify, and I genuinely mean it, for basically input, editing, and normal handwriting, I still struggle to see $100 worth of difference, because for all the basic stuff I actually use a pencil for, it does the job just as good, while still giving you Find My, magnetic storage, palm rejection, tilt sensitivity, replaceable tips, and even the shortcut button on top. So, considering this thing normally costs just $32.99, getting most of the basic functionality of the Apple Pencil Pro is honestly pretty wild. That makes spending another $100 pretty difficult to justify.